Hi, I'm Todd Cook. Welcome back to the kitchen for another episode of Polymer E-Club's Ask the Cook. We're here to talk about polymers and polymer application. We help you answer the question, what do you need to know to add polymer skills to your career? As I was thinking about this episode, it occurred to me there is a specialty in something that I would call large part manufacturing. So if you're going to make a large part out of a polymer, it has some special considerations associated with it, and there's some processes that you need to think about. So we'll try to cover those in the next couple of minutes. Large injection molded parts exist. The instrument panel in a car is a single part, injection molded. The dishwasher in most homes is a plastic tub dishwasher, and that tub is a single injection molded component. Also, again, very large. These presses that make these things are very impressive objects. They are very large, they are very heavy. The pressures and forces are very high. These machines are rated according to their clamp, and they're rated in tonnage. In other words, the machine is a 10-ton, a small injection molding press might be a 10-ton. And then a very large press might be a 4,400-ton press. And so these things are very large. The parts are very heavy. Steel, the mold itself that contains the pressure, is very heavy. So you have to be prepared for that. Literally an overhead 40-ton crane would not be a luxury in this environment. The same kind of thing, the foundations for these machines are very large and very strong, and so you have to be able to deal with this very, very large machine. Suppose you want to make a part of that sort and you don't want to be quite that bulky on a machine. You might consider another process called thermoforming. Now, thermoforming takes a sheet and shapes the sheet to a mold and freezes the sheet to that mold, and then you can pop it off using mechanical forces and air and get a part that is relatively thin. Cycle times are relatively fast. The molds tend to be low pressure in the process, so they can be made out of aluminum and thinner, so they're much easier to cool down, much easier to load and unload from the press. So you're really talking about the similar size part, but dramatically reducing all of the special handling that's required having to do with this giant machine. We talked about rotational molding on another episode of Ask the Cook, and in rotational molding you have a relatively thin mold, sheet metal with some bracing on it that is simply filled with the polymer and then rotated to coat the inside. And then to cool it, you simply spray it with cold water. That's again another much more lightweight mold and arrangement. It can make a very large part, a kayak, for example. They're manufactured for sale this way. Now, there's another process which we'll cover in depth on another episode called RIM, reaction injection molding, where the chemical that's involved is a polyurethane process. So in other words, it's an isocyanate and a polyol with its associated catalyst and surfactant mixed and put into a mold, and then just allowed to cure. The mold's warm, not crazy hot, but the point is when it's cured, the part solidifies by a chemical reaction, so it doesn't have to be cooled down. You pop it out hot and let it cool on a belt or something of that nature. So you can make large parts that way in relatively low volume because the cycle times are longer. But large part molding has its own special considerations, basically having to do with the size of everything that you have to deal with. And knowing how to deal with those sizes and design parts to fit in them, that's working knowledge. That's just exactly the kind of stuff we share with you here at Polymer E-Club Ask the Cook. Now, don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and even share if you appreciate the content. You can follow a link in the description to learn more about Polymer E-Club and get involved. I'm Todd Cook for Polymer E-Club Ask the Cook. Thanks for watching.